Welcome. Welcome back to this week's live, the YouTube live and the podcast. My name is RD. Welcome back to the Waterfowl Den. Hopefully y'all having a good Wednesday. Whew, it is warm out there today. It felt like that humidity hitting us in the face. So we had a good bit of rain the past couple of nights, afternoons. I mean, it has been crazy. So hopefully y'all been getting some water. I know for one thing, I have not had to water the garden. Uh, I'm actually afraid to walk in the garden just so that I wouldn't go knee deep into the ground. Like it has been raining. So hopefully we hadn't been the only people that's been enjoying the rain the good Lord's give us, but man, it's gonna be warm the next couple of days for sure. So hopefully y'all having a good Wednesday. Turkey season is officially over in South Carolina. It ended Saturday and Sunday for youth. So I was lucky enough to take my son Saturday. Didn't have any luck. Well, I say we didn't have any luck. Pretty funny thing. We had the decoy out, and I told him, I said, well, we'll probably leave around 9 o'clock. We ain't heard nothing. We ain't seen nothing. Why stay? He's getting a little, moving around. We was in the pop-up blind, so it didn't really matter anyway. He wasn't making a noise, but we done been out there probably at this point close to 3 hours, maybe 2.5. So I told him at 9. So about 8:45, 8:50, this hawk swoops in, hits the decoy. I'm talking about takes the decoy out. The hawk swooped down, hit the decoy. The hawk went rolling across the ground. The hawk looked back like, what in the world just happened? Jumped on top of the decoy, tried to take off, and the hawk was just as unaware of what went on as we were. But I wasn't even rolling the camera at this point because there's no use to roll footage for 2.5 hours with no turkey sound. But it was pretty awesome to see that hawk fly in and try to take out that decoy. But other than that, that's all we saw. We did go get McDonald's. He really likes McDonald's, so that's all it's about anyway. Getting out there with the younger generation, trying to teach them. I personally didn't get the family traits or the family genes of how to turkey hunt. I talked about this before. My father was a deer hunter. We deer hunted. So up till my late 30s, I never waterfowled or turkey hunt, and which is probably a good thing because I have never financially recovered from either one of them hobbies. Turkey hunting is probably less expensive than waterfowl hunting, but waterfowl hunting by far is the most expensive hobby, hunting related hobby that I know of. All y'all bass fishermen talking about it's expensive. Yeah, okay. So hopefully y'all having a good middle of the work week. We made it halfway. We got 2 more days. So here lately I've been looking at some of these waterfowl jokes on Chat GPT. Why did the goose bring a pencil to the party? Because he wanted to draw some attention. I didn't get that one. Why did the goose bring a pencil to the party? Because he wanted to draw some attention. Okay, ChatGPT. Didn't get that one for sure. There's been some funny ones on here, but that one wasn't it. What? So it asked me, what animal are you in a mood for next? So looking at the calendar of events and what you can and can't hunt right now, it's quail season. So let's see what kind of joke they got for a quail. That would be very interesting to see what that comes up with. Why did the quail start a podcast? Because he wanted to give something to chirp about. Chat GPT, we're done for you. You're drunk. Go home. Chirp. Wrong type of bird there, buddy. But interesting gun related news that has happened today on this day in the past. In 1956, the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitive list was released. On May the 14th, 1956, the FBI published the first 10 most wanted fugitives. Violent crimes, some involved firearms, but that program continues today and is still a tool used for high-profile law enforcement cases. So, today in 1956, that was a pretty interesting fact. Didn't cost y'all a dime. So, I do want to pull up, since it is the end of turkey season, and for some reason, if it's on state's DNR's website, I can't find it. I had to pull it up from my phone. It is the harvest reports for turkey in South Carolina. Now I'm going to pull up, and I can pull it up on the screen here for y'all, the other states that are around us. They have theirs on the website, and I don't know why South Carolina don't, but hey, I'm pretty sure they never called and asked me for my opinion. So let me throw in today's date, which would calculate any youth turkeys that would have got over the weekend. So statewide from March, which I know we really didn't hunt at the beginning of March, but there was an early youth day. So we're going to go from March to today. Is loading 8,874 turkeys harvested in South Carolina. That is roughly somewhere around, just really quick without having to look at the numbers, that's 2,000 birds less than last year. That's sad. I mean, that is really sad. And honestly, I seen it. The birds were just not there this year. I don't know. I don't know if it was just the birds were not there. I don't know if people didn't like the price increase. I don't know if that cold front, but there was approximately roughly around 2,000 less birds this year than last year. So what happened? And like I said, I can pull up the other states on the page here. Let me throw that up here. And I was really blown away from North Carolina. Like looking at these numbers from North Carolina almost makes me want to switch to a different county or a whole nother state. So here is North Carolina. We'll get to Georgia in a minute. North Carolina, same dates. And I think North Carolina may still be in season. Let's see. Nope, theirs ended also. So they're pretty much also ended. So from the same dates, March to today's date, and it's statewide. Look at this. 22,734 birds. I mean, what in the world is it? North Carolina always got that many more? Like I'm on the line. Like legit, I could be in North Carolina just as fast as some of these areas I hunted around here. So if I take that and I subtract it from the 8,000 we got or divide it, they had 2.5 times more birds. 22,734 birds. Let me zoom in on this a little bit more. Like, this is crazy. So up at the top, because we got to go to the top to look at it. So total harvest, and then you got your county here, and then you got greater than and less than 7 inches, and then you got your gun, bow and arrow, and crossbow. So I was just going to look real quick. Heck, I wondered if more was shot with a bow and a crossbow in North Carolina than South Carolina. So, does it list private? Now, Now, South Carolina, it shows private and then public. And this one here, I picked all counties. So, and it's statewide. So, it's calculating all of it. So, I guess I've hunted North Carolina for waterfowl, never hunted it for turkey. And next year, I may highly question going to North Carolina. So, looking at which I thought was kind of funny, Mecklenburg County, which would be the closest county to me, 22 birds. So, Mecklenburg, if you don't know where Mecklenburg County is, that is Charlotte. And Charlotte is bigger than Charlotte because that's the city limits of Mecklenburg, which goes into Pineville, which I want to know where y'all got 22 birds in Charlotte because that's pretty hilarious. Now, if you come up here just outside of Charlotte, you would be getting into Concord. You got Concord, Kannapolis. I don't even see none of them on there. So there might be cities. Let me pull up a map of the counties of North Carolina. Let's see what's around me. All right. I should have pulled it up over here so I could show y'all too. So let me grab this one over. All right. Throw this up here. Because we all need visuals, and I know some of y'all probably looking on the phone. So Cabarrus County. So Cabarrus County. Now, if you get outside of Cabarrus County, where Concord Motor Speedway and stuff like that, it is very rural. So 173. Gaston County would be where Gastonia up towards that way. Most of this area right in here is pretty rural. Then you get off into Wake County, which would be like Raleigh, Durham, up in here. I would imagine that's pretty populated. But pretty much everything in this blue, I'm not going to say everything, but a lot of this in North Carolina in the blue is farming. And most of this up here in the top would be mountain region. So let's look at the list again. 526 Baldwin County. Let's see. Sure would be nice if that was a way to search that real quick. There's Baldwin. Yeah, in the farmland. I could definitely believe that. 547 Columbus. Let's see where Columbus is. Right there. Going towards Wilmington. Wilmington would be down here. This over here is the Outer Banks. So regardless of where you go in Wilmington, all of the Outer Banks is pretty flat farmland. I can 100% believe that. 812. Wow, let's see where that's at. Yep, Outer Banks area. All right, let's see. 500, 598, Fairfax. I'm pretty 100% sure that's over here. Where's Fairfax? I know where that's at too. Am I overlooking it? Highly possible. Don't see it. Need to know where that's at because that has a pretty good many birds. Yep, must be overlooking it because I sure don't see it. Or is listed as that and it's something else. All right. Let's see what else is on here. A bunch of 200, 300 birds. Northampton, 486, 577. Let's see where that's at. Pender right there, that's the Outer Banks, that's farmland. So pretty much, if you want to go hunt, you need to head towards the coast of North Carolina. I would imagine some of them, Union County. Union County would be close to me also. This was Union County right here. This would be Monroe. What else is in Union? If you're going out of South Carolina, going into North Carolina, you got brain fart. There's a college up there too. It's got a lot of farming. Wingate College, and then some kind of Vegas. I can't think of what. Marsh Vegas is always the nickname. Bunch of turkey processing places up there. Marshville area. A lot of that's farming, so I could believe that. It would be interesting to break down some of them mountain areas. I know, I guarantee you, up around Cherokee, Asheville area, this area right in here, I got hammered so bad with the storms and trees. I would imagine that place is destroyed. So there's North Carolina. Let's move on to Georgia. Georgia so far is 10,662. I think they have I think this might be the end of Georgia's turkey season also. May the 15th, so tomorrow. So it might take them another day or two before their calculations get entered correctly. But yeah, I mean, it's how is every state above us and every state below us doing better in South Carolina? Like I honestly want to know the answer to that. Like, I bought license in Georgia. I have bought license in North Carolina, so I can publicly say, hey, I've supported all three states. What's my game management doing for me? And it pretty much looks like we're behind. So we definitely need to do something. Mama said, do you think more people are hunting in North Carolina than have more people that make up the number go up? That's also a possibility. I would have to change pages for that to actually see how many hunters that is. That's a whole different report. So, good question. Don't know the answer to that. Jay, what's up, Jay? Jay said he going out tomorrow. So, Jay, wish you all the best luck. I had to see which camera I was looking at. Jay, I wish you all the best luck in getting a turkey. But since South Carolina is over, let's look at what is in. So right now, quail season for dogs only. This is on private because remember when you're hunting, you got to hunt private and game management. So here's private, this column in the middle, and then there's game management. And don't forget your limits. Your limits is on the right side. So quail, March to November, dogs only. So this would be just basically training your dog, because here is where it says guns and dogs. So when you're looking at that, make sure you know what you're looking at. So quail is in for dogs only. That goes for rabbits also. So squirrels, dogs only. Same thing for foxes, dogs only. Beavers are in right now. Don't know what you do with a beaver, but hey, it's year round. That's raccoons and possums, also dogs only. So, man, it ain't looking too good for us. So right now, if you are a hunter and you want to hunt something, your best bet is to either get a dog or swap over to fishing. That's pretty much it. I definitely, you know, in South Carolina, if you never knew about it, it's in the middle of the state. It's called the South Carolina DNR Watery Range. Y'all definitely need to go check this place out. It is amazing. Like, I'm not joking. I got 2 videos on this place. Jay says season goes out tomorrow. I got to work. Oh, it goes out tomorrow. Oh man, you look like I physically can't see you, but you look like you may be sick. Like, do you need a doctor's excuse? Because technically I drink Dr. Pepper, so that makes me somewhat of a doctor. Like, lowercase dr, but hey, I'm almost like Dr. Dre. But this range here, it's in the middle of the state. If you know where Camden is, here's Columbia right here. Camden is there. That's where it's at. It's at the in between Camden. There's actually a town, and I cannot think of the name of that town that it's actually in. And I know that it's going to come out and get me. Eastover. That's it. It's in Eastover. Amazing. Let's see what the images are. See what I can pull up. This place has where you can do trap, you can do 5 stand, you can do sporting clays, you can do. There's a gun range, a rifle range. What else can it do? Feel like I'm leaving something out. Sporting clays. I think I might have said that, but that is definitely it. If you want to learn how to shoot skeet, hey, there's my video right there on YouTube. First time trying out trap. But they got 5 stand, a really nice trail. So if you really want to go look at that, go watch the 2 or 3 videos that I have of the DNR range. But talking about the range, and that's the sign, prices. Now, this is a state-ran facility, so they are for nonprofit. So you can go shoot 100 skeet for $20. And I love shooting skeet, and there's plenty of places where I've gone before, and there's absolutely nowhere that I have ever gone that you can shoot 100 skeet for $20. If you wanted to shoot 200 skeet, you would think, hey, that would be $40. That's where you're wrong. It's a little less than $40. The more the skeet you buy, the cheaper the price. So say, hey, there's 3 of us going, and I want to get 300 skeet. We're all going to shoot 100 rounds. You would think that would be $60. No, it's a little bit cheaper than that. I can't remember the price, and there is a price sheet somewhere. I got it on one of my videos, and they could have went up. I haven't went this year, but I may go Saturday. If it holds off rain, I ain't got nothing going on Saturday morning, I may scratch off Saturday morning and go. It may be looking that way, but it is really, really cheap. And I'm talking about they got the same card readers, the same throwing machines. The stands are really nice set up. I can promise you it is super clean. Like the bathrooms, like you're not going to be disappointed. Yeah, you're not going to be disappointed. Yeah, I had to think in my head how I was saying that. You're not going to be very. That's one thing about a live. When you do a live, there's no going back and editing the words that you say. Sometimes the words they just ramble out. But this place is amazing. I can't. There's many times I criticize the state and our turkey season and sometimes our waterfowl game management. I feel like there's probably some things that the state could be doing better, especially in the low country where some of the hurricanes have washed away our levees, and that is a endless cycle with hurricanes. I understand that. I understand it takes a lot of money, but I don't know. Seems like other states got it going on too, but who knows? Maybe I'm just complaining about something I don't know nothing about. But they are doing an excellent job at their gun range, and they have bought land across the street, so they're going to be extending that range somehow. So if you are anywhere in South Carolina, definitely go check that place out. 100% love it. Let's say, yeah, I would say you could have got the raccoon coming this morning. This afternoon on the way home, like it might have been like 6 o'clock. Raccoon ran across our driveway, and I'm like, well, that's kind of odd seeing a raccoon. This time of the sun was pretty bright, so I was like, what's that joker doing out here? But what y'all got going on this week? I am in the postpartum turkey hunting section of my life. I am completely heartbroken that turkey season is over with. It may have been the worst season for me, but I greatly enjoyed it, hunting with a bunch of my friends and family and taking my son. So had a great time turkey hunting this year. But which I started the video, the podcast off talking about how much rain we got the past 2 days. I'm telling you, when I say we got rain, we got rain. And luckily enough, last week, I got my millet in the ground. And this year, I'm trying something different. I actually threw some wheat out also. I don't know how that's going to go. Is the wheat going to choke out the millet? Is the millet going to come up before the wheat? I don't know. But typically, my millet either does really, really, really good, or it comes up and completely burns up with the heat. So that was reason I put out some wheat this year. I was hoping that, if my millet burns up like it has in the past 2 years, maybe the wheat will be there. I don't know. Like I said, I trying something different this year. But man, I feel like I got it in the ground at a good time. Oh, that ground is so soft. It pounded that seed in really good. You really could see some stuff starting to come up. So fingers crossed. It's going to come up good, and the doves are going to like that. A lot of people think, hey, I only got a couple acres, and I can't hunt dove. I probably got like a half an acre disced up with millet, and typically it's just millet, but this year, like I said, I got millet and wheat. It's just enough to get doves to fly for us to shoot. I sometimes I do pretty good. Typically I get out there with my son. Plus, he's gonna miss a ton, but there's no houses around me, so you don't have to have a ton of property. You just can't be shooting towards other people's houses and stuff, which there is none around us. But you can plant small patches of millet. Doves really like millet, so you don't have to have 100-acre field. So I want to get that out there. Hey, just disc it up, plant some millet, see what happens. You don't have to have 100 acres to have a good time for sure. But documented it this year. We'll see how it works. I'll keep y'all posted. Usually I make the videos of, getting the tractor, showing how to disc. So we shall see. This year, The garden is definitely taking off. I don't know if y'all been watching the video series of the garden, but I have a new video coming out in 2 weeks. It's already done and ready, but uh, it will show you how we prepared this year's garden. Totally different than any way we have ever done a garden, and we shall see if it pays off. Very interesting. This is my wife's idea, so it's actually her garden. Uh, I hunt, so she gardens. She takes care of things while I'm hunting, so I help take care of her garden stuff. So that's going to be a very interesting. But our tomatoes are doing really good. But the downside is it is so wet out there in the garden that I need to go put stakes up, but I can't put the stakes up. I'm telling you, I think if I walked out there, I would need a tow wrecker to come pull me out. That is how much rain we have got. But I know the next couple of days it's going to be really warm out there. The humidity is going to be ridiculous. So hopefully it'll dry some of that up and I can get out there and put them posts in the ground to get them things staked up. Because like I said, them tomatoes are looking really good out there, and it's doing them absolutely no good to be bent over. It's crazy. Now I'm not the gardener, she is the gardener, but me helping her, it is crazy to know that if rain hits the dirt and the dirt splatters up and gets on the leaves of the tomatoes, it kills the leaves. Like that makes no sense to me. You wouldn't think that it would bother it since it actually came up through the dirt. But hey, what do I know? But hopefully the next couple of days we will definitely dry out some. So I'm hoping that that's going to help us out. Trying to see what in the next couple of days is going to be like. I know that there's going to be some bad weather in a couple of areas, and we could talk about that um, in the upcoming section. But let's see here. What is the temperature going to be like? It's loading. 75 degrees out there now. Today's high was 82, and it 100% felt like 88, 90 out there with that humidity. I don't know if the computer, it does. The humidity is 76% as we talk, and it is 8:30, and the humidity is at 76%. With all the rain that we got the past couple of days and couple of weeks, that humidity had to be at like 100% today. I felt like I walked outside messing with a tractor, and I thought that I took a shower outside. It was pretty crazy. Let me throw this up on the screen here. I do not want to add that to the screen. Let's see here. There was a delay. I threw up the wrong thing on the computer screen. All right, let's see here. Let's share the radar. I'm looking at a new radar program too. Currently, what I got here is just a Windows one, but I'm looking at getting a Mega Radar. If y'all ever used a Mega Radar, I use a Mega Radar on my phone. Amazing. But I'm thinking about buying the 1 year subscription of a Mega Radar Mega for desktop purposes. So here, currently, there are some pretty good storms going on in North Carolina, especially in the Outer Banks. Earlier today, I thought we was going to have one coming our way, but most of the weather seems to be up here, North Carolina, Virginia, and coming up in here to Maryland and stuff like that. There's some warnings out there, some flash floods. There is some bad weather over here in Nebraska and South Dakota, and if you're over in this area, you definitely want to be prepared because there is some bad weather coming that way. Um, my internet is very draggy. So Nebraska area, there is a good many storms out this way, and I think that's going to continue on up for the rest of the night. So if you're watching this tonight, you definitely need to be paying attention. The Nebraska, maybe on up, is definitely going to follow up into South Dakota and North Dakota. Tomorrow's weather is going to be bad around Missouri, Indiana, Ohio, pretty much this area tomorrow. So there is a chance of bad weather tomorrow. It's going to be over in this area. Possibly Friday is going to be kind of like up in here and some in the Tennessee and North Carolina. That's still a little bit too far out to be really paying it. Well, you should be paying attention, but it's still pretty far out there. But right now, that's currently what's going on out there, and that's getting it right there. Tornado warning for sure. Let's see what that one says. Right there at 7:24. So that was that's Central Time. So I think that's probably pretty close. A tornado was confirmed. So if you out that way and you are a live streamer to the channel, you need to definitely get in your safe zones because if you anywhere in this area, you need to be paying attention tonight for sure. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the softball. I love watching ladies college softball. It blows my mind that a ball can be thrown underhanded with a curve at 70 plus miles per hour. I mean, I would love to try to hit one of them balls, and I know that I would look pitiful. I would look miserable. There's plenty of YouTube channels out there, videos of college girls playing college boys baseball, and them girls will strike them college boys out repeatedly. So for me to say, hey, I think I could hit one of them balls would be probably an overstatement. But I think if some lady fast pitched 100 softballs to me, I think I could at least get one off. I feel that confident that out of 100 balls, I could at least get lucky and hit one. But that is starting Friday. So if you like college softball, that is kicking off Friday. Bunch of good games that already started. I'm trying to pull up the schedule now. I know that it is starting Friday. My Lady Gamecocks, they started out looking really good, and then man, about halfway in the game, they didn't look so good. So it is what it is. You know, sometimes you have luck on your side, sometimes you don't. But here is the bracket. Like I said, it starts Friday, I think somewhere around 2:00 in the afternoon, at least our time, which is Eastern Standard Time. These games are going to be played all over the United States. So I'm pulling that up now. Let me make it bigger a little bit so y'all can see. All right, so here's the brackets. UCLA definitely probably going to be up there. Carolina, nah. That might have been the super regional. So let's look at. They already played the Super Regionals. They are now into the brackets. So let me find a better schedule because this has South Carolina still in it, and South Carolina is not in it. That's in the brackets. Let's look at the schedule. Here is the schedule. So May 16th, which is Friday. I'm pretty sure today is the 14th. Yes, today is the 14th. So Friday, the 16th, starting at 1 p.m., which is in the afternoon. Texas A&M, that would probably be a good one. Texas A&M is number one. Sorry, St. Francis. I don't know how that's probably going to end, but I'm pretty sure Texas A&M is going to. If St. Francis beat Texas A&M, that would be a shock. And then you start getting into the winners of game 1, game 2. You got your double elimination, and then let me blow it up. Let me get rid of these ads on the sides over here so y'all can actually see it. I think I can go one more bigger. Mo bigger. That's what we're talking about. Mo bigger. So the 16th, and then you go into your winner losers elimination. And like I said, you got your different colleges of where they're going to be at the regionals. Omaha versus California and Oklahoma. Oklahoma, I foresee also being a very big contender in the end. Then you're going to go to Gainesville, Florida. My pick is going to be Florida. Florida's ranked number 3. If I'm not mistaken, I would have to look. I'm pretty sure they won last year. Then you get over to Arkansas. You got Oklahoma State and Arkansas. I'm going with Arkansas. Then you get over into Tennessee, Tallahassee, Florida. 100% going with Florida State. Then you got the Austin, Texas, which I can't believe Texas is ranked number 6. I would have thought that they would have been a little bit better, but I'm definitely going with Texas. Sorry, North Carolina. In Knoxville is going to be Tennessee. And then May 16th. Oh, so Carolina does have a chance still. Ooh. Hey, Carolina was playing some good game the other day. Maybe they can pull it out. I don't know. UCLA, they're always a contender. Louisiana. UConn, Louisiana. Oof. I don't know about that. That's going to be a toss up. Now, Carolina. Sorry. I totally apologize, us Gamecock fans. I just saw Clemson's name on there, and I cussed our state by calling Carolina Clemson. And I mean, I literally feel like I should go wash my mouth out with soap after. So, internet and anybody that's watching this after it's not live, I totally apologize. I am a true Gamecock, and I should have never let that blasphemy of Clemson come out of my mouth. I still got bad taste. But with that being said, the Clemson girls the other night pulled off a game that was beyond amazing. Usually, if Clemson is playing anybody, I am pulling for the anybody. And in this game, I was still pulling for anybody but Clemson. And at the end of the game, I had to at least somewhat tip my hat to Clemson. Like, maybe I didn't tip my hat, maybe because I was at a dinner party and we were eating hamburgers, and maybe I tipped my hat to get a hamburger. But regardless, the hat did get tipped a little bit. Clemson pulled out a heck of a game Saturday. I mean, it was a heck of a game. So then you get down into Lubbock, Texas, Mississippi State, probably. Uh, then you get 13 ranked Arizona, probably. So, like I said, there's going to be a bunch of games on Friday. Like, you're going to have to really click the channels to see all these games. Coastal Carolina plays Georgia. None of them are going to make it to the end. Alabama, I don't think. Oregon about the same. Then you start getting into the super regionals, which would be May 22nd to 25th. So I'm going to go back up to the top, and we're going to look down and see how I picked, and we're going to see how this plays out. I got me a book here, but I don't have a pencil. Now, how do I have? I got everything else on my desk here. I got goose feet. I got some more geese. Where in the world? I don't have a pencil. So let me find a blank piece of paper. I got the blank piece of paper. Oh, here we go. Sharpie. All right, so we're starting at the top. I'm going to see how the brackets work. Jay, do you watch lady softball? I know you're a big Georgia fan, and I know Georgia does probably have a softball team, and they probably like my Lady Gamecocks. They're probably not going to make it to the end, but hey, support them all the way till they don't. So I'm going with Texas A&M. That's probably going to be. I'm going to put that as probably going to be definitely down into the finals. I'm going with Oklahoma. I am going with definitely Florida. I foresee them being a contender in the end again for sure. Arkansas. Definitely Florida State. Florida State's got a really good chance. Also, you got Florida State, and then you got the Florida Gators. So there is two Floridas. The Gators, I have to look it up if I don't forget and get sidetracked. I'm pretty sure they won last year. I'll have to look that up. Texas is also going to be tough. Tennessee, I think if they get things going, get the ball going, they may be a contender at the end, but I don't think so. Definitely going to pull for South Carolina. I don't foresee them having a chance to finish out the season and do anything, but hey, got to pull for them. And then we get on down here. What else is playing? Clemson. Man, that's going to be, man, this hurts. Like, it really hurts me to write down, I think Clemson is going to beat that. They're going to play USC Upstate. Like, that hurts. So if I write it backwards, Clemson wrote backwards, does that hurt to say I didn't really pick them, but I did? I feel like me writing it backwards makes it feel a little bit better. Like I said, the rest of these down through here, probably not going to be too much of a game. So I got them wrote down. So when we come back next week, the prediction, I already said what I think is going to happen. We're definitely going to watch how that plays out. But yeah, you got your regions, and then let me because I zoomed in. Let me zoom out. You got your regions throughout the softball series, and then you start getting into brackets down here, which would be the super regionals, the best of the three, and then the World Series. I'm going to go ahead because there's going to be 4 heading off to the end. So I'm gonna mark down here. I draw the line. I am going with Texas A&M and Florida State. Not Florida State, but the Florida Gators. Got the Gators on there. Let's see who else is going. Texas Longhorns. They're ranked 6th, but I don't think they're gonna make it. Oh man, that's getting tough. I need 2 more. Oh, let's see. I don't think Tennessee's going to get it done this year. UCLA, I usually would pick them, but they're so far out this year that I don't know. Where's Tennessee? Tennessee, man, I really want to pick Tennessee too. It's tough getting this bracket here. The Oklahoma definitely. Oh, all right, so we got Oklahoma. I need 1 more. Are we going with Arkansas? We're going to go with Arkansas. There's the 4. I got the 4 that I'm going to pick. So Oklahoma's ranked 2. Arkansas is 4. Florida is 3. And Texas is 1. So out of the 4, it's definitely going to be Texas. So I'm going to do my final prediction of the bracket, how I feel. It's definitely going to be Texas. It's going to be a toss-up between the Florida Gators and Arkansas. I think Oklahoma's going to do good, but I really think I have a feeling like Arkansas may pull it on up in there, or is the Gators going to pull it, or does Oklahoma? So this week's prediction, I got the 4, and then we go into the World Series. I'm picking Texas. I'm going with Arkansas. I may change that next week after I see how everything shakes out, but I got Arkansas in there. Arkansas and Texas. That's who I'm going with. We shall see. But it would be cool if I could like pick my own bracket, but there we go. Now, we all know the summertime is almost here. It is going to be football season before too much long. So college football, I had to think where I was even talking. Schedule. This is not that far away now, y'all. Look at this. 25-26 season starts August the 23rd. We're in May. We're in the middle of May. So we're almost in June, July, August. 3 months away, and it's almost college football. So now, granted, that opening weekend, there's really nobody really playing. But hey, at least there'll be some football back on TV. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, Iowa State, maybe Stanford, about the only names I know in that first kickoff game of August the 23rd. You got to start getting down here maybe the next weekend before I would even know any college really games. You got Duke. East Carolina, it'd probably be a pretty good game. August the 29th would be the Auburn. Now you're starting to get into some bigger games. Baylor. And then South Carolina. I can't even read. South Carolina. I just literally said it again when I did. That's that live. I tell you can't go back and edit. Saturday. There you go. August the 30th. Now you're starting to get into the big names. There's Jay's Georgia down there. So we're not that far away. If you think about it, we're only 3 months away. And 3 months goes by really quick because we are in the middle of May. We are almost ready to have Memorial Day will be here before you know it. So you got Memorial Day, and then it busts off with July 4th, and it's back to school. So I am ready for some. I love spring and I love fall. I hate summertime. I hate it's so hot, that humidity in the South, man. The armpit of the South, it'll be getting you, that humidity. So welcome to South Carolina, where you can see all four seasons in a day. What day was it? Was it Tuesday? It was really hot outside. It cooled off so quick right before I went to lunch that hey Jeff, it cooled off so quick when I went to lunch the other day that my windshield fogged up on the inside and had moisture from the inside of where it was so hot that storm rolled in so quick. It was probably surprising that we didn't have hail. Like, very surprising. So yeah, in about a week and a half, maybe a little less than a week, we got Memorial Day coming up. So it won't be much longer, y'all. We got like a couple more days of school. So I know some of y'all will be preparing for graduations. So then it's kids getting ready to go to college. So I know some of y'all are gonna be busy over summertime. So I got a couple more years to hold off on college. So we're gonna spend it doing a little fishing, a little skeet shooting. I can always need to be practicing some skeet shooting because yeah. And the gun that I was looking at getting, the Rite 28 gauge, the new Air Ace R, and then the plain Ace is basically the only difference between them is the receivers. But I contacted Rite, and they are saying the best that the 28s are going to come out is the beginning of 2026. So yeah, that's not going to be no time soon. That is 100% correct, Jeff. The older we get, the faster time flies. Man, I look at photos and like, man, I would love to go back and get some of them days back. I sold one of my tractors today. I had a older Massey. This was before Massey became Massey Ferguson. So just a little history trivia. Massey and Ford came together, and this was when Ford created the Ford 8N, and Massey was creating the Massey, and they shared a lot of parts together. This was before Massey Ferguson. It was just Massey Harrison. And I sold one of my tractors, and the guy got it off the trailer. I was pulling away. It hurt a little bit because this was my first tractor that I ever bought, and man, I'm telling you, I put a lot of work on that seat tractor. I promise you, my calves were hurting, bush hogging, pushing that clutch in and out. No power steering. Me and that tractor's got a lot of sweat equity. And I got that tractor back in 2009. So 16 years I've had that tractor. And I promise you, it almost didn't sell. It almost became yard art in the yard. But I mean, it still ran. It's still bush hogged. Most of you know that when I make videos and farming and stuff, you see the Kubota. I got a 4-wheel drive Kubota. It can do everything that old Massey can do a lot better and a lot easier. So it was time to let that tractor become somebody else's baby. And it did hurt a little bit today when I saw my baby in somebody else's arms. But and that's what I was talking to mother who rode with me. I'm like, they just don't make tractors like that anymore. This tractor was 60 plus years old and would still go out there bush hog all day. Like, as long as you put diesel in it, she was a purring. Like, and here we are today. Half this stuff today is made out of plastic, and you got to have a computer to be able to run anything. And you got to have these new tractors that got DEF on them. I mean, it is like the tractors today ain't going to last 60 years. Hey, they probably be rusted in 60 something years, much less still using them. So it's crazy. Jeff said he got his P32 Saturday. I really like that little thing. I'm telling you, I told you, Jeff, you were going to like it. I love my Kel-Tec P32. And if you don't know much about Kel-Tec, Kel-Tec makes a foldable, it's not a pistol, it's more of a rifle. It folds in half. It's probably like this long, collapse. They upgraded the version. So if you ever looked at one of them, and the first version did have a flaw. When it folded together, the front sight locked to make it close. You could not put a red dot on it because they folded together. The new version, when it goes to close, the barrel somehow twists because I have looked at it. When it twists and folds close, it doesn't affect your red dot. So you can put a red dot on the new Kel-Tec collapsible rifles. They offer it in 9mm and possibly 45. I don't know what the new versions are. I know the old version was 9mm and 45. I would think that they would continue the 45 into the new series, but I could be wrong. I know that it's in 9. And let me tell you, the new version is really awesome. And Kel-Tec really stands behind their warranty. Yes, Jeff, it really does eat. I mean, now it is a single stack, but I'm telling you, if you are a hunter, if you're a fisherman, you go to the boat ramp, you can put that. I mean, I can promise you, it is about the size of my cell phone. You can put it right here, and it's got the little. I don't know, Jeff, if you got the built-in clip, and now me thinking clip, I forgot to even look at that holster for you. So that was a reminder there. But they make a built-on clip that literally like 2 screws, maybe it's just 1 screw. It literally just goes on, made by the factory. And I mean, it clips on. I like them, but hey, I understand that, it's not a competitive pistol. It is not one of them that you want to go out there and you just shoot like a competitive round with them. But for concealment and putting them in your pocket, amazing. Yeah, Mama said my tractor was pink. It was sort of pink. Let me just say that it was sort of pink when I got it in 2009. It was red. Obviously, it was massy. It was red, but it sat outside for so long that the paint had faded and turned it pink. And when I got it, I gave it the old Rust-Oleum treatment, and I painted it and got it back red. But yeah, that was a heck of a tractor. Just has been in my pocket all day. Forgot it was there. Yeah, I'm telling you, you will love it. So glad you're happy. My boykin came up here to visit me. I don't know if y'all can see her. There she is. She came upstairs. She just wanted some loving. Somebody forgot to shut the door is probably what it was. Uh-huh. What you doing in the podcast room? You gonna tell them hey? Tell them hey. I would pick you up. Now you talking about, this is a hunting dog. She mostly dove hunts. I didn't take her too much to the coast, but this is a hound. This is a hound dog. Yes, it is. You can hold her here and she will go to sleep. What you got to tell everybody? You're world famous. Say, Jay, how do you like the Boykin shirt? Jay ordered a Boykin shirt off the website. I think that's the one he got. Did you get the Boykin? I know it was Chasing Bands. I couldn't remember which one you got. Oh, you sound like an old man rolling around, huffing and puffing. You pitiful. Oh. So, no, we're not playing. You lay. She is only like two and a half. I'm not sure she's a half. I know she's over 2. So most of the puppy is out of her. But occasionally, yeah, the puppy still comes out. So she is still, oh yeah, she's round up now. Stop. Can't you see I'm live here? Do you know what live means? She says, no, I just want you to live rub on me. Hey, you will knock something over in this podcast room. Lay. Thank you. Whew. This podcast room has got a lot of wires and a lot of cords. And I have done a couple things this week. So the pocket holster from Game Hide Nemesis. All right. So this week I have done 2 things. So one, most of y'all know that I have a streaming channel. It's still part of the regular channel of this channel, the RD Reynolds Outdoors. It's the pretty much 24 hours a day, unless the power goes out or the internet goes out, streaming in the woods for deer, raccoons. There is absolutely no telling what might be down there as we speak. I can look on the camera and see what's out there, because I know currently when I'm streaming this live, I don't stream the woods just because I need the bandwidth. Let's see what's out there. Currently, there's nothing out there. But if you have not watched that, it is live in the woods. I got a deer feeder. I got bird feeders out there. I got a mineral block, a salt block. There's doves out there. It's got full sound. You can hear everything that's going on pretty much 24 hours a day. Last week I started a new channel, and I can pull that up too. So I got a second channel. Let me pull it up. See, you would have thought that, I might would have had that pulled up to start with, but sometimes I forget to promote my own self. So here is my second channel. I'm going to throw it up on the screen. It is called South Carolina Rain Beats. And this is just for sound to sleep. Some people will be like, I don't use no sound to sleep. But hey, this is a channel dedicated to just noise in the background, kind of like the little fire during Christmas time. But it's South Carolina Rain Beats. I would like for you to subscribe to that channel. Maybe you do, maybe you don't need sound. Maybe you need 4 hours of relaxing sound with no picture. But it is definitely starting to pick up, and it is called South Carolina SC Rain Beats. So with that being said, the reason where I'm going with this is Sunday I picked up a new computer. I have a computer that streams up this podcast. Like, I have a dedicated computer for the boat. I have a computer that is down stairs that is dedicated to the deers. And this new channel, I moved another session over to a different computer, and I couldn't stream all of them at the same time. So I purchased a new leave that snake alone. Buffy. You moving around. You gonna unplug something. And then we're gonna lose our stream. Lay. Thank you. I bought a new Apple computer. And not to get techie, I don't normally talk about what I do for a living, but for the past 20 something years, I do IT. That's pretty much what I do throughout the day is IT. Sometimes I question the ever changing life of IT, but most of this stuff, I have some knowledge of how everything works. And to stream and have what you can't see here is 3 TVs. I got a TV that I can look at to see which camera is flipping back and forth. And I'm trying to make this channel even better. So if it seems like it's getting better, I greatly appreciate it. If I'm going in the wrong direction, hopefully somebody tells me. But hey, we're at 23,000 subscribers, so we must be doing something right. So I bought this new Mac computer, and the part that I said I didn't want to get too technique with you, but one of the computers that I stream with is an i7 processor, and I'm a big fan of Intel. I've always liked Intel chips. i7 is a couple years ago was probably the top line computer related, not talking about servers, but just regular desktops. i7 was it. Now they came out with an i9 that is more for gaming and really big streaming. Like you really got to be using some power. Typically, i5 would be perfectly good for a normal user, which maybe some of y'all would be a normal user. And if you look on your computer and you got a little sticker and it says i5, i7, i9, pretty good chips. Once you start getting down into the i3s and the Celerons, lower end. So basically, if you're under $500, you're probably below an i5. So Mac came out with a new processor, the M4 processor. And not to get into chips and everything else with computers, because I know this is a hunting channel, but each processor back when I started in the late 80s, early 90s, one processor, that's all you had. Now we got one processor that has multiple processors inside the processor, and them are called cores. So like a i7, i5, they have multiple cores. But this new Mac is 10 cores. Micro Center is a computer store in Charlotte. They had it $150 off. And if you signed up for their customer email, you got another $25 off. So I got $175 off on this Mac. And I picked it up Sunday after Mother's Day, after eating lunch. I brought this thing home. Wow. I mean, this Mac is that big. Like, I am not making it up. It is a Mac Mini. Paid $425 for it. 10 processors. We're just going to call them cores, which are 10 processors. So normally streaming that one channel outside with the deers, it typically runs at 60. That computer runs at 60%, sometimes 70% to process the audio, to process the sound, to process it uploading. That computer throughout the day runs at 60 to 70%. 100% would be wide open. So when I got this Mac, I'm able to stream both channels at the exact same time on the same computer, both live, and that computer is running at 30%. It literally blows my mind that technology has came to where it's at, that I basically got rid of one computer and I'm doing one computer is doing both. And not only did it do both, the picture quality on both streams got better. So if you're looking for a computer, the Mac 4 M4 Mini, really great. Only downside is if you don't know how to use a Mac and you're going over from the Windows side, it is definitely a learning curve. And like I said, I use Macs throughout the day at work. So I already had a heads up on that. But man, I'm really stoked. And I really want to, now that turkey season is over, and I told y'all that I need to make a video of how the podcast room is set up. How does all this stuff interact? What does it take to make this go live? Like I said, there is a lot of stuff in the background going on to make this work. How does it stream? I would like for anybody to get into this streaming. I've met great friends online. Jeff is one of them. I've never met Jeff, but he comes every week. I enjoy talking to him and I enjoy him watching the videos. Jay started out as a subscriber 2 years ago. We met in person at shooting. We talk all the time now on the phone. Jay's helped me out tremendously. Went hunting with Jay. We enjoyed a great lunch. So if this was something that somebody was wanting to get started, I would love for, me to help them get started. I started out with just a laptop. For the most part, it works just fine. An iPad would work just fine. So I do want to show that video. I want to create it. I want to show how I got the Mac set up, how all that works, and a failover internet thing too. I want to get all that going. I'm waiting on one piece of. Hopefully it shows up tomorrow. The last time I checked on tracking, it was in Charlotte at 9:00 this morning. I thought maybe, fingers crossed, it would showed up today, but it didn't. I'm waiting on one more piece, which is the charge bar for my progressive reloader. I think I mentioned it last week or the week before. I got a mech. I actually got two new mechs reloaders. I love reloading, and I got a progressive reloader. What does progressive means? It means you're going to be even more confused when reloading. Progressive, you put the hole in, you pull it, it then cycles around. You put another hole in, you put a wad in, pull it, hole, wad, pull, hole, wad, and then the shell falls out. Like, you don't have to move it from one station to the next station to the next station to the next, and then you got a shell. Progressive means it's progressively doing something at every station as it rotates and a shell falls out. So what does that mean? It's going to be very more confusing because you're actually going to have to really pay attention on what's going on and not forget a step. I'm sure 100% that I'm going to forget something, but I bought this one. It has some surface rust on it. The charge bar that was in it, which is what I'm calling the charge bar, is the red bar that would measure the pellets and the powder. It was really old. That powder, back in the day when this loader came out, and I'm talking, this loader is from like the 70s, maybe early 80s. There wasn't that many powder brands out there. And what these powder brands made was they made bars to be used with their powders, and they were already pre-measured for the shot load. I mean, this would have been very borderline-ish, people still being able to hunt lead for waterfowl. So this bar was outdated. I got a new bar coming. I will be making more videos and new videos on this new progressive reloader that I got, but I'm telling you, I had to get it all cleaned up, missing a few parts. I got every part in except the charge bar, which I can't do nothing without the charge bar. So there's that. And the second one that I got from that guy, I got 2 mech reloaders for $60. And one of them had a charge bar, but it was a single stage. And that's what my 2 are. The 2 that I currently have in production are single stage. I mean, you pull it one time, you got to manually move it around. It's single. I have 2 that's currently set up. One is for 1 1/8 ounce loads, and the other one is set up for 1 ounce loads. And some people's gonna be like, why would you have 2 separate ones? Well, you would think that you would save on powder by using a 1 ounce load. It's less pellets. You would think that you would use less powder. That is not absolutely true. You have to use a little bit more powder because you don't get the pressure. And they go hand in hand. Not to be very confusing, but I went back to the 1 1/8 because I was actually saving on powder. Powder at the moment is harder to get than pellets. And 2, I really couldn't see much of a difference on kicking. I thought if I went to a 1 ounce shell, I may feel the recoil a little less. And honestly, in that semi-auto, I really couldn't tell any difference between a 1 ounce and a 1 1/8 ounce, because the 1 1/8 had less powder, but the 1 ounce had more powder but smaller payload. I really think they were very close to each other, so I done away with it, and I just went to the 1 1/8. But with that being said, I typically load, and I really wish I could show y'all this live, but I can't. I use 2 types of hulls. The nitro, which is the gold ones, or the Remington greens, or the Winchester AAs. All of them take the same wad. And then I have Federal over here that takes a different wad. You can't swap the wads because they got taper holes. And if you put one in the other one, you're either not going to get pressure or you can get overpressure. So you got to keep them. There was a song that said you got to keep them separated. So you got to keep them separated. So I have one machine that is set up for this hole and one machine that's set up for this hole. Now, one would say, hey, can't the machine do both? It can, but you're going to have constantly keep switching out how you have them set up. And I promise you, these mechs, you can find them on Facebook for around $100, 100, 150 all day long. You can get you one nice reloader. Now, once you start getting into 20 gauge and 410 and 28, yeah, them are a little bit harder to find. But 12 gauge, they're everywhere on Facebook Marketplace. But them are single stage. So this one is a progressive. So I'm going to move my 1 1/8 over to the progressive machine. I am going to turn one of my single stage into my TSS waterfowl load. That's going to be it once the tariffs go back down. At the moment, I am not buying any TSS or bismuth, but now seeing that China and US has come together on a tariff agreement for, I think, like 90 days, maybe we shall see if we can actually get some supplies. But I'm not really stressed about waterfowl season yet, because we still got what's that? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Did I say September? Now I got myself confused. So we're in May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So we're 5.5, 6 months away before early teal. So I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping, that come, let's say September, October, the prices come down. I can start reloading for waterfowl season. So that is one single stage. That other single stage that I bought from that guy. Now I just said I bought 2 of them for $60. So $30 between the two, $30 each. I'm going to turn one of them into strictly steel. And with that being steel, reloading, you have to have metal chutes versus the plastic. There is a couple parts you need to change out to run steel, but I'm going to set one of them up for strictly steel reloading. I don't like shooting steel. I really, really hope that this year I don't have to shoot steel. I hope Bismuth comes back around. I hope TSS comes cheaper, because I'm telling you, I do not want to shoot steel. I have about a case and a half. I may have 2 cases of steel in reserve, not ball steel reserve. I just have 2 cases of steel in reserve, but I'm hoping that I do not have to use it. Mom says a laptop. Now you have a laptop boat. Yeah, I have a computer on my boat. It may get a little wet. Jeff says, how hard is it to change between gauges when reloading? Me personally, I would say don't do it, Jeff. Honestly, what it would cost you if you bought a mech, new or used, every piece can go from 12 gauge to 20 gauge. I think it's different, especially in the mech, when you go down to 410. I think the machine is different. I could be wrong, but I think it is different. But 12 and 20, I know you can use the same machine. By the time you buy the pieces or components to run 20 gauge, I can promise you, you can buy the same machine off Facebook Marketplace for a 20 gauge. Now, Jeff, I know that you're in the middle of the country, and I know it is western flat plateau, and you may not have neighbors for miles on end, and I completely understand that Facebook Marketplace may not be the best place for you. I understand that. But I know that people do ship on Facebook. I would be very about like eBay. You know, you pay for something, you don't rightly get to see it until it shows up. But there are a lot of mechs out there, a lot of them on eBay. If I was reloading 12 and I wanted to reload 20, I would say get 2 separate machines. Now, Jay loves his Lee Loadall, which is roughly, I think, around $70, maybe $75 on Amazon, give or take a little bit. I don't remember the exact same price. The Lee Loadall is really great. It will do everything that you want to do. It has a couple down flaws, downsides, whatever you want, however you want to pronounce it, in whatever southern language I am speaking. One downside to the Lee Loadall, the plastic on the side where the powder goes, if you leave that powder in there, it will burn into the plastic. Like, I've got a video of the Lee Loadall comparing it to the mechs. I don't know what that plastic is made out of. It will burn. The powder will burn into the plastic. Like, I don't get it, because on the mech, they got plastic bottles, but my powder stays on in them for months on end, and it never burns into it. So I don't know what kind of plastic they're using, but you have to dump the plastic out. Another downside, when you pushing in the wad, you can over manhandle the bar on a Lee load-all. Like you could put too much pressure on it. The major downfall to the Lee load-all. Now, Jay is hand measuring. He's got a machine that is dumping the powder in with his holes, and he's also measuring TSS and back and forth. He is not using the lead load-all the way some people are using it. The lead load-all is made to put powder on one side, pellets on the other side. He is using TSS and bismuth, totally different. I don't think you can even load steel. Maybe some, maybe like number 4, maybe that might be too big too, but maybe 5 and 6s of steel in this lead load-all, because on the pellet side of the Lee, it has like a cone-shaped plastic thing that the pellets fall down in on, and you can only go so big and it won't load it at all. So there is some disadvantages. And where I'm going with that load-all, when you first set up the powder, it takes plastic little peels. I think they call them peels. I don't think they're cartridges, but they're basically cartridges that measures how much pellets, how much powder. When you put the powder in and you do your first hole, you need to take that out and measure it. And we're going to say we need 20 grains. Well, that's going to come up 18 grains. Well, the only way to change that little peel cartridge, basically it ain't nothing but a little diaphragm, little circle plastic thing. You're going to have to turn it upside down. And the way the lid and all is, you basically have to dump every bit of the powder, every bit of the pellets, just to change one little peel. If you wanted to do it in a mech, then both bottles are here. The bottles just flip backwards. You change the bar and you flip the bottles back over, and it's that easy. So if I'm loading a 1 ounce in a mech, I would be using the 21 bushing. And if I want to go to a 1 1/8 ounce, I may need to go to a 20. So all I got to do is flip the bottle back, push the bar out, take the bushing, put the other bushing back in, put the bar in, flip it over, and I'm ready to go. It is not that easy with a Lee load-all. 100% the Lee load-all will do the job. What Jay is doing, he's mostly using it to crimp his shell. He's not reloading. Jay is loading. I am mostly reloading. I am taking AA holes and nitro holes. I'm knocking the old primer out. I am now putting either lead for skeet or TSS in them for waterfowl, and I'm sealing them up. Now, what Jay has done, he has bought the hull and primers already pre-made, unshot, and he is roll crimping his also. So he's using them to crimp it, and or he's using it just to push the wad down, and then he's roll crimping it, which is totally, I know that you know, Jeff, what roll crimp is, but roll crimp would be a little bit shorter, and there's a car shot on the top versus it being crimped down. And reloading is very interesting. Like, I never knew the concept of what the difference was between a crimp, a reload, a crimp versus a and I just said that Jay's doing it. Brain went dead. What? Golly. Thank goodness it's Wednesday, because the way I'm stumbling today, I don't even know if I can make it more than 2 more days. Roll crimp. Jeez Louise. You can either have a crimped or a roll crimp. Now, with a crimp, you're going to have 6 stars or 8 stars. And people's going to be like, well, I never really looked at the top of a shotgun shell. That makes a big difference. There is a difference between a 6-star. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. uh, I don't know, Jeff, what you wrote there, because your what you wrote looks like what I was having a moment there. I'm thinking you're saying roll, but you put a D. So I don't know if you're saying R is old, like RD is old, which is also a fact. But certain loads, like butt shot, certain BB sizes, as in double aught, triple aught, certain ways you load them, it is better to do a 6 crimp versus an 8 crimp. It all comes down to pressure. And like I said, reloading is fun. It is extremely easy. Trust me, if I can reload, anybody can reload. But it is when you start going, hey, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do bird, and then I'm going to do waterfowl, and then I'm going to make deer loads, and I'm going to make turkey loads. No, you need a catalog. And I strictly say, and I said it 1,000 times in my videos, and I say it the exact same way for shotguns. Get one, and that is its particular job. Set that machine to do one particular job and no other. Just like the shotguns. I have one shotgun. It is made for turkey hunting. It is set up for turkey hunting. It has no other job than turkey hunting. The turkey choke stays in the turkey gun. My deer gun is only for deer. The deer choke stays in it. My waterfowl gun is set up for waterfowl. I don't go switching them back and forth because they are all set up completely different, and I'm not even going to say calibrated different, but they are set up in a different format. My skeet shooting shotgun is set up different. My skeet shooting shotgun is it is not like any other shotgun I have set up. My dog just came back up here. Buff, come, sit, lay. No, we're not playing. Lay. Thank you. My waterfowl shotgun, I prefer shotguns that have a mid bead. And you're going to say, what's a mid bead? So you got your bead at the end, which you shouldn't be looking at when you're shooting skeet, and you got a mid bead. If you look at something, a non-moving target, and you close one eye like you normally would a rifle, you should see your mid bead. If your mid bead is exactly on top of your other bead, then you're shooting 50-50. Means if you put it on paper, 50% of the pellet should be up, 50% should be down. Now, my skeet gun is set up for 60-40. So when I'm looking down the barrel on a fixed item and not moving the shotgun, my mid bead will be under my upper bead. It should look like a figure 8. So that's telling me that 60% of my pellets should go above the target and 40% should be going below. That goes back to the reason why. So I want to, when I'm shooting skeet and I'm looking at the end of my barrel, which you shouldn't be looking at the end of the barrel, you should be looking past the barrel, but it should be in your vision and you're pointing it. I want the object that I am shooting, which would be skeet, I want it to be above the barrel. You have 2 types of scenarios here. So I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to take my remote for the TV. So 50-50, when I'm following it, that is 50-50. Me, at 50-50, I may only see the top of the head, or I may only see the top of the clay pigeon. Then you pull the trigger and it goes splat. 60-40 would move that object up higher. So my vision, I would be able to see that clay pigeon or the dove or whatever above my barrel. Now, some people set theirs up for 70-30. That is really high. And that is what a lot of the times you hear people talking about. The super black eagles shoot high. Super black eagles are pretty much set up for 70-30. 70% of the target above, 30% below. So they will shoot high. They are set up to shoot high. That's how they shoot over in England and all that. They shoot higher. With that being said, if you're jumping from Browning over to Benelli to Stoger, and you're constantly jumping back and forth, and you don't know that, you're going to be shooting high, you're going to be shooting low, you're going to be missing. Stick to one, and that is that job. My deer gun, I'm shooting buckshot. I am aiming at a big old deer. I am not running dogs, so therefore my target is not moving. I want it 50-50. For the most part, you should be able to see a deer at the end of your barrel 50-50. My waterfowl is set up also the same way, 60-40. Turkey, it is pretty much 50-50. It is also not a moving target. So there are different configurations. That is the exact same way what I would tell somebody that is wanting to get into reloading. Find one and give it one job and don't change it. Especially if you have to use a lead load all, it has one job. Don't be changing it, because I'm promising you, if you are trying to load the lead load all with this brand powder to do this job, and now you want to go swap to a different brand of powder and a different shell, and you're having to change them, no, you're going to hate yourself. I can promise you, you're going to hate yourself. You're going to make reloading even worse. Buy a good reloader and give it a job, bolt it to a table, and get you another one. I mean, literally, I saw just that I live between Omaha and Lincoln. It's not that bad. So there you go, Jeff. You could get on there now and probably definitely find you one. Like right now, if I jumped on Facebook and I go to Marketplace and I type in Mech Reloader, let's see what comes up. I see a lot of stuff on here. I'm like, ooh, look at that. So there's different ones, like I said. Here's one that's a progressive. Here's one $200. Here's one that's got a bunch of supplies, $200. There's a different brand one. Here's two of them for $425. That was together. There's a 20 gauge. I mean, they're all around me. So that's what I would say with reloading. Get one and stay. Yeah, I see that you said rolled. You didn't. Too bad, Jeff, that there's a 30-second delay. I done found the word in the back of my head where the marbles are rolling around by the time you typed it. Jeff says mid beads are hard to find anymore. Yes, they are, Jeff. They are definitely hard. The only ones that I know that still have mid beads are some of the Brownings and some of the Berettas. And when I say Brownings, I'm talking Browning Maxus, Wicked Wings. I know the Browning Silvers don't have mid beads. The Winchesters do not have mid beads. The Stogers don't have mid beads. I'm pretty sure the Beretta A400 Estrema does have a mid bead, but I think you got to get like the Estrema Plus or something. There's something there. But yes, mid beads are pretty much for setting it up, and then you really don't. I don't really think you use the mid beads pretty much after setting up. There is a trick, and a lot of people don't know about the trick. Is if you don't have a mid bead on your vented rail, that's pretty much what that is a vented rail. You can take a straw, tape that joker down, and I'm talking about tape it down, tape it to the top of your barrel on the rail, on the vent rib is a rib. Sorry, I'll call it a rail. People get offended if you call it the wrong thing. The rib, if you take a straw and tape it on both ends and maybe in the middle so that that straw does not move. If you take that straw and then you holding the shotgun down here and you're going to find the object on the wall, let's say a smoke detector. You take your shotgun, you throw it up, and you should be looking down that straw. If that straw doesn't point to the object that you're at, then your gun isn't adjusted. If that straw, so make sure which camera I'm looking at. So if that straw, I'm pointing to that camera and that straw is straight, it's good. If that straw is crooked and I'm only pointing at the smoke detector, which is across the room, and it's already crooked, well, that smoke detector that I'm currently looking at is 15 feet away from me. If 15 feet, that joker's already crooked in that straw, well, guess what 30 feet is going to look like? Guess what 60 feet is going to look like? Yeah, you get on there at 50 yards and that little bit of, yeah, you're going to be 2 foot off. And people don't understand that. They're like, why am I missing? Well, when you put the straw down here and it ain't straight, which now I know the camera moves, if that straw isn't straight and you can see all the way down that straw, you need to adjust your shims. You need to adjust. You may need it to go up in the shim, down to the shim. I'm a fat guy. I'm also 6'1", so I can't just randomly go pick up somebody's shotgun and shoot it. I got a fat cheek. I need that butt stop to push away from my face. I know that. I know that I'm more bigger, fatter than some people. I understand that. And again, I'm 6'2". What does 6'2" come with? Long arms. If I shot a gun that would be set up for somebody a foot shorter, my arm's going to be like this. Like it's going to be at an angle that I'm going to feel like I'm shooting a kid's gun. That is very uncomfortable. And I promise you, if you take a gun and you put it here and your finger isn't on that trigger, like perfectly on that trigger, or if it's above or below, when you put it up and you do a straw test, that straw will be crooked. Guarantee it. And if it's crooked, and like I said, at an object that you're pointing at across the room, you go 30 yards, 40 yards, it's going to be off a foot. So there's where your mid bead comes into play. That mid bead is basically doing the straw. When you go to throw it up on an object just for practicing, if that mid bead is like this, you need a shim. If that mid bead is like that, you need to bring it down. You got toe and heel, you got up and down and left to right. So with that being said, like Jeff said, some guns these days don't come with a mid bead. Well, guess what? These cheaper guns these days don't come with shims. Now you're gonna say, well, what's a cheaper gun? A Stoker don't come with shims. Some of them do, some of them don't. You get down into the pumps, they don't come with a shim. A Winchester SX4. People's going to say, well, that's not a cheap gun. That's $1,000 gun. You start getting up to the SX4 that can shoot 3.5 and Cerakoted, $1,200-$1,300. Don't come with shims. If I shoot a SX4, which I had a SX4, it doesn't fit me. It's the reason why I got rid of it. My SX3, which is a sporting one, it has it built into the butt stop where I can move because it's wood. It's a sporting edition. I can move it and have it adjusted. I had it close. I did the straw method. I had the gun close. And not only what I was saying, I'm 6'2", you got the, hey, my cheek is fat and I need to push it away, and I want to do the 60-40, but the length of pull, which is what I was saying here, I had it close. I had the straw. I had it close. Somebody's at home. The dog just started. The dog doorbell just told me. I had it close, and I paid a professional gunsmith to set my sporting gun up to fit me. Like I wanted to better myself at shooting, and he adjusted that gun to fit me, which he added a little bit more spacer, and he set it up for 60-40. I went out that next weekend and I improved by 15 clay pigeons out of 100. 15. Same gun that I've been shooting. Nothing else changed. Same ammo, same choke. It literally came down to that gun fitting me. So in the off season, ma'am, I don't need my hands getting bit by you. Am I your chew toy? This is the time to do it. Get the straw, look it up on YouTube. It's called the straw shotgun method. Take that straw, tape it to your barrel, the rib, tape it to the top. Now, some guns don't even have a rib. If you start getting into the older guns, they don't even have a rib. That's even more confusing. But now is your time. There is absolutely nothing going on. We can't do anything. Now is the time to get your shotgun fitted to you so you shoot better this year. So that's all I got to say. It's been about an hour and no, it's almost 2 hours that we've been on tonight. So I greatly appreciate y'all coming in. Jeff says when two becomes one, the bird is down. That's right. That's right, Jeff. If it's got a gold trigger, it's down too. Got a gold, is down. But yes, learn more about the mid bead. A lot of guns these days are going away from the mid beads. But this week, take the gun out of the gun safe, strap a straw to the top, find an object, make sure your gun is unloaded, which camera it is. Make sure your gun is unloaded, put the straw on top, throw it up, and see how far you are off. And let me know. Let me know if it's off a hair or is like, wow, that's a big difference. So with that straw method, you should be doing the same thing. If the straw is a little bit crooked, okay, there's another test. If it's a whole lot crooked, don't adjust your gun yet. Get you a big piece of paper, go out there, do the same thing. Throw up and pull the trigger. Don't throw up, close one eye, take your time, get it up there. No. Boom. And then go down there and look at the paper. You're going to either be shooting, somewhere, and it's probably not where you think you've been shooting. So do the straw, put it up there. Let me know how it works out for you. A lot of guns don't come with a shim. That doesn't mean they are not still adjustable. They can be. A Winchester SX4 can use a Maxus Browning shim. They have to be trimmed at the bottom, but they will work, and you can shim a SX4. Or you can take it and get it professionally shimmed, which is well worth your money if you care to make a difference in skeeting, shooting, or out in the field. So until then, I greatly appreciate all of y'all. I appreciate all y'all tuning in. This weekend's video is my buddy Tony's first turkey. Called it in. 10-inch beard. Great video. That will be coming out this weekend. So Saturday, be looking out for Tony's first bird. And I'll see y'all next week, next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Y'all be safe. And I'll see y'all next time. Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors, shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Also, go check out Salt Creek Ammo. This triple curl TSS is some of the best TSS I have ever shot. This is for waterfowl edition. It's made for waterfowl. So if you're going to shoot a species that you've been chasing for a long time, don't use no cheap ammo. You pay good money to go on a trip. You got great guns. Don't cheap out on cheap ammunition. This TSS is amazing. It's got number 7s, number 8s, and he has number 9s. So go check out saltcreekammo.com. Here you will find any kind of ammo you're looking for. He has custom loads, TSS in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, low pressure ammunition. You got predator ammunition, turkey ammunition, anything you're looking for, give Keith a call. Also to the channel, Kicks Industries, most people will know them as Kick Chokes, has came on board, and I have done a bunch of series lately on waterfowl choke tubes, turkey choke tubes, deer choke tubes. So go check out Kick's website for all of the chokes that can fit your guns. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC.